on, Dini. From the World Wrestling Federation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Rocky Maivia. Fashion designer Brian Bailey unveils Dini's Gemini dress design and the story behind a Halifax, Toronto teenage prostitution ring. And now, here's Dini Petty.
And now joining us, Dan Duran. Dan.
Dan's not going to be with us. He's
tying one on back there.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, he asked us to take over for him, and
You going to be my co-host for the show?
Yeah.
How totally cool.
He's all tied up.
He's all tied up. He won't be available at all?
He's busy.
He's busy. That's really nice of you guys to do that.
sure, we're gracious guys.
Is he? What's he off doing? Another television show or commercial or something? Or?
He just said he was really busy and he was getting tied up in the
Kind
back.
of tied up with something, I don't know.
Wanted us to kind of help out.
Could you ask for a better-looking co-host? Here, wait a minute. Here, you sit over here. I think you know. Yeah, good-looking two guys. Yeah, of course. What do you mean? When you wanted me in the middle of, Rocky and this good-looking guy on my right here. Oh, my belt fell off.
Oh.
Does this mean I've just lost the championship?
Well,
This is.
it looks like it's secured.
You think so? I don't think so. It's come undone here. Who does this actually belong to now? Who owns the real one,
Shawn
guys?
Michaels has it.
Shawn Michaels, eh? What happened to, we're missing somebody. What happened to him? Did he?
Psycho Sid?
Yeah, did he chicken out because he knew you two were here and he was afraid of you?
Well, I don't think Sid's a rocket scientist. And I think he might have had trouble finding his way maybe
You think that's
to
what
and from
he's
the airport.
lost?
Yeah,
Maybe he's out there with Dan.
It's possible.
Gee, this is nice he's feeling for Dan. I really appreciate that. I mean, he's not
Absolutely.
here too often and, when he's not, maybe you could, be like a regular...
He's stressed and he's overworked.
Do you think that's what it is?
That's what he was saying to us, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really nice of you to help out. Good guys, huh? From the WWF. We have a lot of wonderful guys on the show today. Remember a man named Hugh O'Brien? Did you ever watch Wyatt Earp? The show Wyatt Earp?
Yes.
You watch it?
Sure.
Well, he's not only that, he's done 50 movies and I don't know how many television gigs, but he's now dedicating his life to helping children after he met a man named Albert Schweitzer. Do you remember the name of Albert Schweitzer? He was a great humanitarian who lived in the African jungle for years. He spent a lot of his life helping people, particularly people with leprosy. He went to meet him, and the man turned his life around. Since the day he met him to this day, he's devoted his life to working with kids. And from our affiliate in the Maritimes, we have Phonse Jessam, who is talking about a really sad thing. There's actually a prostitution ring involving teenage girls, and the girls are brought from Halifax to work the streets of Toronto. And these girls do not do well in life. It's a sad story. And then one of my favorite people, Brian Bailey. This is the outfit that I wore when I interviewed Sarah, the Duchess of York. Yeah, Brian, this is a Brian Bailey. Most of the clothes that I wear, all of the clothes I wear are Canadian designers. My favorite Canadian designer is Brian Bailey, and he's here today. And he's designing, I'm up for Gemini Award. Yeah. Well, Brian has some dresses. Maybe you guys could help me pick the dress that you like.
Oh, I'd love to.
You'd love to?
Sure.
You're so, you're shy.
No, I'm not.
You are a little bit.
I'm just reserved.
You're kind of a quiet, there's a part of you that's sort of a quiet,
I'm just very deep and reserved.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I have a way of exploding when
Until he gets in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things change.
When it comes out at the right time.
Maybe the word that I was looking for is you're very much a gentleman.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
you're.
always-
Yeah. I think it's an interesting thing when men are this big and this size. When when you have all the power behind you, there's no need to be to go out and be pushy. It's usually.
Yeah, I mean, actually, being big sometimes it almost sometimes people hold it against you, and they treat you like almost like freaks or.
No.
Well, people can be rude to big people. Not that I'm that big, but.
People. Anybody ever been like that to you?
And that kind of stuff really hurts.
Aw, how tall? But how tall are you?
6'5".
6'5". You weigh about 300 and.
About 275.
275. Oh. Bret, born in Calgary.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, the popularity of the WWF is just extraordinary. When they're at Maple Leaf at the Gardens and the Skydome. At the Skydome, the only people that's ever outdrawn them has been Billy Graham. And these people are huge. There are more toys, video games, and guess who's going to be on The Simpsons, folks? Guess who's going to The Simpsons? Yeah.
April 13th.
April the 13th.
Yeah.
Bret the Hartman hit his. Yeah. Thank
Have
you.
a brief
Thank
cameo.
you. Bret the, let's say it, Hitman Hart. Thank you. Yes, I know. Yes. I actually didn't know their names. I get very confused when I get around them. They're so, you know.
You get flustered.
I get flustered, yeah.
We have that effect with women sometimes.
Do you?
On occasion.
And what do you do when that happens?
You're going to have to ask Bret about that.
Good one, Rocky. Good one. You actually had to choose between careers at one point in your life. You were.
Oh, well, a little bit. I was really fortunate where I had I think you're talking about acting, right?
Yeah, you were into acting and.
Yeah, I had a really nice experience with Lonesome Dove until it got canceled. And I think as far as acting goes, I think I did really well with it. And
You love it.
oh, I loved it. Yeah, I loved the Lonesome Dove theme and all, being in a Western show and all that was really good for me. Unfortunately, the third season I would have been a full-time regular,
Yeah.
and then it got canceled. So and then it's very, very hard, I think, to find the right stuff to do, the right projects.
Tell them to stop, Rocky. All the girls in the audience are going. Psst, psst, psst. They're in love with him, aren't they? The women.
Everybody loves Rocky.
Everybody loves
Sort of
Rock.
the old and the new here.
Yeah,
so.
this is the newcomer.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about your background. You're third generation into this game, huh?
Yeah, I'm the first third-generation wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation. And, you know, it's been great, especially guys like Bret Hart helped me along the way. And, you know, it's been fantastic.
Your family, what was it called? The dungeon in the
basement.
Yeah, the basement of the
dungeon.
house.
It's still there.
It's still there. That's where you started.
Yeah.
But it was your father who was a wrestler. Your grandfather wasn't into it.
No, my grandfather was not. He was a runner, actually.
Was he? Did your grandfather used to wrestle with you when you were a kid? Is it?
Not my grandfather, my father, though.
Didn't know your grandfather?
Yeah, well, my grandfather passed away when I was a little younger,
Oh, okay.
so I wasn't actually in the ring getting beat up, only by my father.
How young were you when you started?
When I started wrestling,
yeah.
Probably 8. I started rolling around with my dad.
Do you want to act too?
Sure, I'd love to.
Yeah? Okay, so we're looking for roles here. You know, if there's anybody out there.
I could be a co-star.
You could what?
I'll co-star.
You'll co-star. Do you have when you can't finish the show tonight, there must be thousands and hundreds of kids that hang around waiting for you guys, right, afterwards?
Yeah, pretty much.
Often you don't really, you know, you don't really
Oh,
get to,
excuse me, madam. Not just kids.
you don't really a lot of times get to actually meet them up close. Like a lot of times it's up a ramp and out and in a car and you're gone. Mind you, we will see some of the people here in Toronto.
What do you think happened? Why did wrestling become the big thing it's become again? I mean, all of a sudden it went from sort of unknown in the background and then it's just gone mad. How come, guys?
I think the wrestling has always been something that's very easy to understand. It's very like you can be of any race or color or creed.
Right.
And it's very easy to understand, and it's worldwide. You don't have to speak any language. The rules are very simple, and it's basically a lot of times just a morality play of good versus evil. And
Okay.
usually justice prevails. At least let's hope so.
Usually justice prevails.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I think it's really decent of you guys to fill in for Dan. I really do appreciate it. He usually tells me when he's not going to be here. It's just didn't make it today, eh?
Well,
Maybe he's with Psycho Sid somewhere.
Let's hope not. 'Cause
Because if he is, we may never see him again. So you guys have got a big, and your tickets sell out so quickly. We were actually going to give away a set of tickets. But wait, we couldn't because they're all gone, and the only ones available are the June ones now. And they're on sale now.
yeah, we have a real big show again in June.
Oh my God, Dan! Dan!
I'm here. I don't know what it is with these guys. All I said was, it real or not?
Is it real or not? Well, wait a sec. Wait, Dan. Dan, wait a second, honey. Dan, you know how you and I had this little one-upsmanship game going? Mm-hmm. And did the boys tell you they were going to let you out after this?
Yeah.
Well, Dan, gotcha, because you ain't, babe. This is it for the whole damn show. How do you like it, Dan? Would you guys mind hanging around doing his job? It isn't much of a job, and God knows it, you know.
We
No,
aim
no,
to
really.
please. We aim to please.
Gotcha. Yes, come on, Dan. Would you mind getting rid of, taking care of him for me? The boys guys, and Rocky and Bret and I will be back. And Dan, you just go have a nice show, honey. Hugh O'Brien is probably best known for his role as Wyatt Earp on television, and these days there's another project that takes up pretty much most of his life. It's Hobby, H-O-B-Y. It's the Hugh O'Brien Youth Foundation, which gives thousands of young people a chance to develop leadership skills. He's here today to talk about life in the Hobby Foundation. Please welcome Wyatt Earp, Mr. Hugh O'Brien. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
I'm not sure that everybody, although I mentioned him a little, knows who Albert Schweitzer is. Tell them a little about this extraordinary man.
Well, he was one of the greatest humanitarians that ever has lived, much less in this century. And he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he gave up his whole, his church and his music to spend the rest of his life in Lamborghini, Africa, to treat the natives there. And because of his work, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. And back in 1958, at the height of the Wyatt Earp series, I had the privilege of spending 9 days with that very inspirational individual at his clinic. And that came about through a friendship with Norman Cousins, who was the publisher and editor of the Saturday Review of Literature at the time. But anyway, one of the things that that great man said to me was the most important thing in education is teaching young people to think for themselves. And I got on the plane to come home, and I said, wow, this is kind of very much fate. And I finally just looked up and I said, God, I get the message. And I decided that I wanted to try to create something or make or break by my own efforts as a motivator and so-called Charlie movie, whatever, and having the ability to, reach out and touch people. And I focused on 10th graders because when I was in high school, that's when I personally had to decide to fish or cut bait. And I decided that one of the ways that I'd really learned in life was to be able to ask questions. In my book, there's no such thing as a dumb question, dumb answers maybe sometimes. So I put together a program 2 weeks after I got off the plane, and they're in the process now of developing our next program site, which will be in British Columbia, Vancouver. And all of the programs are run by volunteers. It's great to have a dream, but the willingness to share it is really what made the dream fly.
A couple of questions. What did you talk about with Albert Schweitzer every night for 4 and 5 hours? What did he
We
talk
talked about anything he wanted to talk about.
But what did he like to talk about, Albert?
Well, in the beginning, he wanted to make sure that I understood man's failure in terms of arriving at peaceful solutions as far as civilization is concerned. 1950s, for you folks that are out there that might be too young, was a period when we were all very, very concerned about being able to self-destruct with our abilities that we have with the hydrogen bomb and so forth. And people were building bomb shelters, whether they're in the United States or in Canada, very concerned about what was happening with the Cold War. And he was very concerned about what was going to happen to civilization, society. And he, at one point, looked to me, and I had made some stupid comment that I felt that I was taking too much of his time the first evening. And I said, look, I've got 9 days, and I'll be here a long time. I've got a lot of time. And he said to me, he says, yes, you do. But I'm a very old man, and I don't have much time left. And I need to talk to you now. You're the first young person from the United States that ever has visited here. And your country, the United States, and North and South America, that area, Canada, if they don't take a leadership role, there will not be peace. And civilization very well could self-destruct.
The 10th graders that you pick, what kind of people are you looking for to go in the Hobie program?
Well, it has nothing to do with grade points.
Okay, so how do you get to be in the Hobie program?
Well, the school makes the selection.
So what do they look for?
They look for what I was interested in. I looked around me and I saw people that I grew up with, and I saw people that were on my board. Grade points are very important, but it's what you retain that's important. So what I was looking for is a motivated 10th grader. He may not know what he wants to do, but he's involved in extracurricular activities, whether it be sports or church or within the community, key clubs or Circle K or whatever.
Okay, he's already out there doing
But anyway,
stuff.
the bottom line is that they select what they consider to be a motivated 10th grader, boy or girl, to represent the high school. That individual then goes to, whether it be the Canadian Hobie program or in the United States, they go to a 4-day program in which we interface them with top leadership like yourself, whatever the discipline happens to be, on a terrific variety of topics.
What do you want to see happen? How many kids have gone through this program since its inception? How many have gone through the program since?
About 230,000 now.
And what do you want for these people?
I want them to understand that leadership, which is the thrust of what we try to, get to them with, not just in terms of leadership, in terms of building a business,
right,
but the most important thing is for them to become the captain of their own futures. And for them to also understand that leadership includes leadership in the home. And that's one of our greatest problems today, is leadership in the home. And to empower these young people and to have them understand that if they're going to be parents, they must accept the responsibility of that, because we have a lot of young people out there that don't, they may even have a mom and dad, but they really don't have leadership from those parents.
Albert Schweitzer in the 1950s was concerned, as you pointed out, about the state of the world because there was such a terrible threat from the hydrogen bomb. People were building bomb shelters. If Albert Schweitzer could take a look at the United States today, Hugh O'Brien, what would he say now?
Well, what would he say about the whole world community? There are tremendous problems, but we still have avoided, Armageddon. We still
We haven't blown ourselves up yet.
No. And, the United Nations isn't really working. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all the firefights we have.
Right.
But fortunately, what we have now are a bunch of disagreements, different country borders and so forth, which is a hell of a lot better than what the potentials were in 1950. We still have the ability, but there's a better control over that now. The fact that the Cold War is over.
Right. You have hope in your heart for the Americas?
Do I what?
You have hope in your heart for the future of the Americas?
Sure, but that's not just America. I have hope in my heart for all of humanity. And the ones that are going to bring that to fruition, the ones that are going to have the responsibility for maintaining peace to whatever degree we can, are the young people that we touch. They're 15, 16.
And the most important thing you're trying to teach these people, you say leadership in the family, but you want them to have critical thought?
I want them to know how special they are as an individual and that they can truly accomplish anything within our system, within your system, if they put their minds to it, and for them to open themselves up and dream and think about what the potentials are and how they can become part of the solution, not the problem. And you do that in a very simple way by bringing them together and showing them how important they are as individuals. And it's an amazing thing that happens. We have a couple of great examples.
Yeah, there's two Canadian, it's hard to pick them out. They're in the front row. I think they collect pins as a hobby. One could say that. This has become Hugh O'Brien's life work. Hobie does exist in the United States. It does exist in Canada. If you are interested and you would like some more information about the program, if you just give us a call here at the show, we'll tell you how to get in touch with them.
And whether the gift be in time or money, I guarantee it's a great return on the investment. If you write to you, get it to me and I'll write them back. And we'd love to have you involved as volunteers. There's no cost to the kid or the school or to the parent. And it's a private sector initiative. In this case, in Canada, the optimists are very, very active.
Okay. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on your life's work.
Thank you.
I'll be back to the crowd.
Yes, thank you.
Up next, one of Dini's favorite designers and good friend, Brian Bailey.
Did you walk over Dan? Is he still tied up back there?
Dan, just like, you know, is massively tied up. He's got all this stuff.
So excellent, isn't it?
Can't tell if it's something out of a Frankenstein movie or if it's out of an old Western, but it's the wrestling, you know?
Looks good on him. You often hear people on television say, I would like you to meet my really good friend, and they hug and kiss. Well, actually, this is true. Brian Bailey is a Canadian designer, and I've been wearing Brian's clothes for 10 years?
Don't tell him, Dini.
Is it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a new designer. Who knew? Who knew? And Brian and I have become very close friends. Actually, this is my my adopted big brother, and I'm his kid sister. And one of the nice things, oh, by the way, this is the outfit that I wore for Sarah Ferguson when I interviewed her, and Brian went shopping and picked this one out for me. Actually, this is a Brian Bailey.
Shopping in the studio.
Yeah, and you got the blouse for me, did the whole thing. Actually, I don't have the shoes on that you picked.
We have to do something about the lining, though. Is
the lining showing? It's a Brian Bailey. It's his cheap garments these guys make. I don't know.
They can pick it off the rack, but can they fit a garment? That's the trick.
Brian's here to do two things. One, because I am up for Gemini Award, Brian had his birthday present to me was to design the dress that I'm going to wear. So we're going to show you the designs. Oh, let's do that now. They've got them up there, right? Yeah. So you can see them down there. We'll show you the one. These are. What's that one, Brian?
That one's the one that you said's a bit over the top. You felt it was a little too slingy. That's the bias cut one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But you know, Dini, when you've got a body like you do, and it's like, and I know.
And you know, how do you
know?
Oh, please. It's because
you come into my studio, and I'm telling you, all breaks loose because we just have such a good time.
That's
it's like
true. We have
clothes are flying, and she's going, well, let's try this on, let's try that on, and then we come out with some good things. So this one you felt was a bit over the top.
Okay, so show us another one here.
Okay.
This is the one. This is the one I think. Oh, that's the one. That's the jacket.
Yeah, this one says Dini has this.
I love to wear my collar up.
Let me say it.
Okay.
She loves to throw her collar up, and maybe we should just do that right now because it gives a bit of an edge, and it changes. You know, clothing changes your whole character. When you throw the collar up, there's this whole different persona comes over you. Put the collar down. I mean, I'm in a suit today. For God's sakes. I mean, my mother will shock, you know.
Yeah, you're really
Mom, wake up. It's okay.
Chair.
Get off the floor. I'm in a suit. Usually I like jeans. And clothing represents this whole feeling of who we are and what we are. So if you wear this one.
I can wear the collar up?
You can wear the collar
That's
up.
what he wrote on the drawing. You can wear the collar up.
Yeah.
Okay, show them another one that you've got up there. Because this is the one I think, yeah. I think this is gorgeous. Look at this, off the shoulder.
And if you can read the bottom of it, I've thrown little comments on there. I know Dini that well that I can get away with it. And it says, oh, God, it's so simple. And yet on you, God helped them.
Very low cut in the back and slit right off the front.
Yeah.
Da-dun, da-dun. What fabric are we talking here, Brian?
We're talking something that's drapey and soft and yet has some substance to it that you don't feel like you're walking in a nightgown or a lingerie.
How fitted in it is
fitted.
it? So, like, am I going to get stomach cramps from walking around like, hi, how are you?
That's why I'll go shopping again for hose for you and get that, you know, suck it in stuff.
You are so bad.
No, you know, it's amazing. I get to work with fit a lot of people, and all honesty, you're the easiest one to work with of anybody.
Am I really?
Just because you know what you like, and my clothing fits you well, so that's a relief. I don't have to do major pinning or anything like that. But it's just you're tall, you've got great legs, and the only problem I've ever had with you is your shoe taste.
You don't like my shoe taste, do you? Do you like these shoes?
I love those shoes. Yeah, those are great shoes.
What happened? Brian Bailey's clothes now sell in Bergdorf and Saks in New York and in England and all over the world now. It's done really well. When I knew you were just young pup.
I still am.
I have to ask you, because each year when I go down to pick out clothes from you, I go in and I'm pretty, you know me, I don't like it, I don't like it. I go, no,
She parks out front of the studio, and every 5 minutes I'm saying, okay, we better rush out because the truck may not be there, okay?
So I go, I want that, and that, and I decide. Yeah. Is it true, though, that after I've told you that all the ones you picked I didn't like, and the ones I go, that, are actually the ones you picked out for me in the first place?
Pretty much.
Are they? So you know. So when women are going to buy a jacket, Brian, how do they know what size, style, and jacket? Okay.
Let's show them.
Okay. Yeah. Usually at Brian's studio, you have to take most of your clothes off, but he'll allow me to keep a few on here, I think.
Okay. A few, yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to say
mind.
that. No, I'm just going to leave that alone.
Now, how do you know if you should wear long or short or?
You know what? It's all. I feel this. It's not the home shopping channel, so we won't go there. But this is, you always trust your intuition, what you feel right inside. Here is about what you look like. And give yourself a break or a change once in a while, perhaps by color first. So
if you think it's not you, it's not you.
If we can lose the red skirt and put, you know, like this type of thing happening here.
Does this jacket fit me?
Now, what happens in a fit is the jacket always hangs from a shoulder. And when you're in a store, you should, and this is you too, the woman waiting on you or the man waiting on you, they should fit. Immediately look at the sleeve length and roll it up a little bit, because sleeve length connotates how you feel in the jacket. If the sleeve's too long, you're going to feel like it's too big and there's something wrong with it.
This jacket's too tight. Look, see, it doesn't fit.
Well,
Through
have
the
you got the right
boobs.
bra on today or what?
Oh, please.
But undergarments make a difference.
It's
in fit.
true.
They
That's what he
really do.
says when
And
you go
I
down
ask
there.
her
What
that.
bra are you wearing?
Yeah, I ask her that all the time. I say,
Yeah.
you know, like, where does it fit? And you know. Well, I can do that too, you know, but no, not with the bra. But the important part is that you understand that every piece of clothing that you're wearing affects how a garment's going to fit and look.
So I'm looking for the shoulders in a jacket?
You're looking for the shoulders in a jacket. And a shoulder sometimes can be too wide or it can be too narrow. And it has to feel. Now, you should give the jacket a good tug like that.
Yeah, this jacket's a little too, look, you can see it pulling on me already, look.
Okay, well, we just
Look.
happen to have a next size up, so let's just give that one a shot.
What size is this one?
You don't want to know.
That's okay, you can tell them it's a 10.
Size 10.
And this is a size 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Different designers have different sizes, and some I wear an 8, some I wear a 12, some I wear whatever. And it depends on whether or not you're...
And you can't, and it depends on...
Oh,
even
this fits better.
Even in my collection, it depends on the jacket itself. Sometimes we'll nip the waist in a little bit. So you cannot always wear a Brian Bailey 12. You
Or
may wear a 10.
yeah.
But it should fit...
Yeah,
not,
this
it
fits
shouldn't
better.
be like that. It shouldn't be like pulling in the buttons and all of that. But in the jacket, there's a Heimel built in here. There's fusing all sorts of
what?
extras. Heimel, which is a horsehair. And it's put in there to keep the shoulder nice and smooth.
Okay, so this feels better on me. Does this look better on me?
Yeah, I would just fix it up here a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little big through
taper
there.
it up there and lift the back up a little bit. A lot of people have a little bit of a sway back, so then the jacket pulls up and the front goes in. These are all the things that you want to do when you go into a retailer. If they're not doing that for you, don't shop there, because if you're paying $450 or $500 for a jacket, you deserve to get some attention and some fitting. Men are used to that, but women aren't. So.
Now, is this your traditional Brian Bailey jacket? This one right here?
That's a 4. That's going to be real
A
small.
size 4. I can wear this on my leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
This
let's
is
give it a shot. Let's see how
can't
small
wear
it is. Okay, fine.
Well, I keep dropping all your hangers. Throwing stuff all around the studio. No, I can't wear a 4.
That's-
Most of the models, this is too big? No, this isn't.
No, that'll
Ooh,
fit.
ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah.
See, and I like this length on
Now,
it,
wait
too.
a minute. You got to do this Dini Petty.
Yeah, you got to do the Dini Petty thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually, I'm a guy that always, well, you know, in the 70s, well, I guess I'm dating myself, but it doesn't matter. I always used to throw your collar up and you feel completely cool. Oh, yeah, now this is something that could be very cool here, Petty. Let me tell you, girl. Check this out. Yeah, now that even looks better, right?
Actually, that's not bad.
Whoa!
So the next time you're shopping, make sure they check the, oh, good luck. Make sure they
Wait, it
check
might fit.
tell them.
You gotta ask for service. If they're not giving you service on the fit, on the sleeve length, when you try something on, then it's not gonna happen. You shouldn't
Okay.
buy the jacket.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I'm going to go pick a dress. We'll be back in just a second.
Couldn't keep your mouth shut.
Next on Dini, the incredible story of a Halifax, Toronto prostitution ring.
Guests of Dini stay at the Royal York Hotel, located in the heart of Toronto's entertainment district. You can reserve a room and book theater tickets with just one call. Enjoy the spacious elegance of the historic Royal York. Relax and go for a swim. Dine in one of their fine restaurants. Capture the style and excitement of Toronto at the Royal York. Call 1-800-663-7229.
Boz Jessup came from Halifax to Toronto to track a story about child prostitution. What he discovered is pretty shocking. Young girls from Halifax are taken to Toronto and they're forced to sell their bodies on the streets of the city. The story's been put together in a new book called Somebody's Daughter. That's a great title, Fonz. From our Halifax affiliate station, ATV, please welcome Fonz Jessup. They are somebody's daughter, aren't they?
They are. People don't seem to realize that, but they're real people with, lives, and they feel pain. They're not street trash.
It always breaks my heart when I drive up the streets of Toronto, and they're so young. And if you're a woman in the car, they won't make eye contact with you. They get embarrassed. Where do they come from? How do they end up there?
Oh, they come from virtually every small town in Canada and every big city. I mean, the girls I'm writing about in this book are primarily from the Maritimes, but, you go downtown in Toronto or downtown in Vancouver, and you'll find girls from right across the country, as young as 11.
God. How do they get them? Let's talk about the Halifax-Toronto ring.
Okay, yeah. These guys are very selective in the way they choose a girl. They will find a girl with virtually no self-esteem. They quite often will shop the food court at the local mall and kind of pick out the girl that seems to fit what they want. Quite often they'll look for a runaway. But the key is low self-esteem, and they begin to immediately build on her self-esteem, telling her she's a princess, she's a goddess, buy her expensive clothes, and in a matter of days, they'll turn her out onto the street, and then she'll try to do anything for the man to win the respect back that he gave her, the love, the attention he gave her in the early days.
Are a lot of these girls on drugs? Is that...
No, that's a myth. There are prostitution strolls in Canada where girls who are addicted to drugs work, crack strolls.
But crack strolls?
Yeah, girls, crack being the drug of choice. But the pimps don't want a girl addicted to drugs and will beat her savagely if they find out she's using drugs, because that's his money. If she's spending money on crack, that's money she's supposed to be putting in his hand, and he does not want her having two masters.
So how many tricks a day does this girl, how many men does she sleep with a day?
It depends on the pimp and the girl. A lot of these guys will set a quota. As sick as that sounds, they'll tell the girl, you're not coming home until you earn $800 tonight, or $500 or $1,000, depending on the season, the city, and the girl. And she's out as long as it takes to earn that much money.
Is there an average price for
it? Depends, again, on the city and on the service. Here in Toronto, you're talking in the 80 to 110, 120. A lot more expensive for some of the strange things people get into.
So she goes out there and she earns $800 in one day, takes it home. So how much does she keep?
$20.
$20?
$20, that's to cover cigarettes and burgers, the staple of the prostitute.
I know what low self-esteem is all about. I know how bad it can be. I understand it totally. But when somebody, you just get trapped to the point in this cycle where you think,
yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
They become trapped by the violence and the physical and mental abuse, the cycle these girls go through. Once the pimp has, I love you, you're everything, and then suddenly you're a prostitute, and then I'm beating you savagely if you even talk back to me. The girls their ego is completely destroyed, and they didn't really have an ego to begin with. And I guess it's sort of like the Stockholm Syndrome. Like they're doing anything they can to please their captor. They don't think of getting out.
What kind of human scum becomes a pimp? I mean, tell me about these people.
Well, that's probably one of the biggest surprises I encountered in preparing these books. Some of these guys were pretty nice guys before they chose to become pimps. They sang in the church choir. They were good members of their community. They probably
love their mothers.
They love their mothers, yes.
But they hate women.
One of the guys
somehow.
in prison, the biggest concern was, my mother won't know that this is me you're talking about. No, they don't hate women. They're angry at society, and they're sort of fighting back in a really strange way. I think they hate men more than they hate women, and they kind of laugh at the men that pay them for a girl that really they don't own.
Oh, I see. If I take this prostitute and you idiot, pay her the money which I get to keep,
I get your money, then I sleep with her later tonight.
What about AIDS and all of this?
Well, along with the $20, she's given a supply of condoms that the pimp will provide, and pimps insist that the girls
Jeez.
practice safe sex, but sometimes a guy will offer more money. I mean, that's the whole street culture, and that's
Okay.
a different thing, too. Fortunately, none of the girls that I dealt with ran into that problem.
Okay, you're in this. You know it's wrong. You know this guy's beating you up. You know, can you get out?
No. You can buy your way out. This particular ring had what was called a leaving fee, and it would vary, too. I mean, a young, pretty girl would have to probably pay about $700, $800 to get out.
Where's
but
she
she
gonna
only
get
gets,
seven- she
exactly,
gets
she gets
$20
$20 a day, so she'll never have the money. So the only way out is to find another pimp willing to pay her pimp the $700 or $800 so she can go with him. And they always believe the next guy is going to be nice because he cons them the same way the first guy
Why
did.
don't they just run away? You just run, you go.
Some tried.
And?
They believe these pimps are everywhere. They believe no one in mainstream society cares about them, and arguably, I really don't think that we can argue that that's not true. Where do they go?
Yeah. It's interesting. I interviewed a young girl who actually got off the streets because a lot of these kids never get out.
Oh, no. Some of the girls who were out for more than a year are now back in it.
Because it's all they know. It's what they understand.
It's the only place they now feel accepted. The former girls they knew in their age group back at school judged them. They were prostitutes. They had no real family structure to begin with. They begin to feel the only family they have is the sisterhood of the streets, and they go looking for that one pimp who's not going to beat them.
The point that she made was the point that you have made is the way that we treat them. And you'll often hear people going down the streets and they'll yell at these kids from the car.
I was standing on a sidewalk
treat them like-
interviewing a prostitute,
yeah.
and a bunch of college kids drove by and started shouting names, and it's very common. They're trash. They're gutter trash.
But we misunderstand. I mean, you've surprised me with a couple of things in this book. There were some things that I didn't know, and I'm sure that a lot of people are like, oh, come on. They can just get up and go. Come on, don't give me that. They could go to the church. They could go to the Y.
For a day, for a night, maybe even for a week, but then what?
So the solution here, what do you see?
Well, I mean, it's far be it from me to try and find a solution
Not
to
a
prostitution.
solution, but what do you see in all this?
Realistically, I mean, if you care about these kids, and we're talking about child prostitution and street prostitution, that's all I'm talking about. The only way to stop that is to stop the flow of money. Because the pimps are in it for the money and the power. The girls are in it for the attention of the pimps.
What do you mean stop the flow of the money? Stop buying prostitutes?
Stop the guys who are forking over the money every night. You can't stop the prostitutes, you can't stop the pimps, you got to stop the money. It's a business.
Inside the Toronto Halifax pimping ring, is this ring still going on? Are there still
Yeah,
girls?
but they're very smart. I mean, a lot of the leaders of the ring were jailed, and the guys who were left behind changed the rules a little bit. They're not as violent as they once were. They're being more careful in the age of the girls they put on the street. Some of the younger girls are being hidden in escort services and other areas and moved outside of Toronto and Halifax, where right now there are police task forces that are trying to protect the young girls. So they just move into other cities and try not to draw attention to themselves. But it's active, sure.
How many girls does a pimp have? Two?
Depends.
Three?
I mean, there are bubblegum pimps, just beginners who have one girl who are doing it more for fun, and there are guys who have several girls in several different cities.
Several girls in several cities times $600 to $800 a night,
Whole
which
pile
is
of money,
cold
Dini.
cash, which they ain't paying a lot of income tax on.
Nope.
What are they doing with all the cash?
They live the high life. They jump on an airplane like you or I would jump on a bus or a taxi. They have beautiful cars. They have jewelry that would make a professional athlete blush. They spend
Professional athlete blush. That's funny. It reminded of Ivana Trump, the professional athlete.
Exactly.
Okay. Dan's still out there tied up, by the way. Did you notice him? He didn't get in
Speaking
your...
of professional athletes, he's out there with a couple.
Yeah, he's not, didn't get in your way or anything?
No.
You didn't have to stumble over him?
No, I just pulled my string and moved on.
Yeah. The book is called Somebody's Daughter, a look inside the Toronto Halifax pimping ring. Good work.
Thank you, Dini.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're going to take a break. We're back in just a moment.
You just wouldn't listen, will you? Well, now you're going to get some green makeup, and you're going to like it.
Up next, our beauty segment with Corby Banner.
segment is brought to you by Revlon.
This is one of my favorite scenarios, and I'm pretty good at this one, okay? You wake up in the morning and realize you either forgot to set the alarm or you slept through it. Whatever, you have exactly 15 minutes, maybe 10, between the moment you roll out of the bed and the moment you roll out of the driveway, right? Sound familiar? Well, I'm real good at it. This doesn't leave a heck of a lot of time for an extensive makeup regime or an extensive anything. So how do you minimize your mirror time without losing a polished look? Our beauty expert is here to answer that question with some quick and easy makeup tips. Please welcome Mr. Corby Benner.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Corby, best tip.
Okay, the best tip would be to use a...
Bag over your head.
That's good. Sunglasses. Well, instead of doing an all-over foundation, is to get a compact, like this, you may hold that matches your skin tone exactly. So you only need to dab on coverage on the areas that need coverage, like around the nose, the chin, and so you don't have to do the whole face.
Yeah.
So you don't need the forehead, you don't need all the panels, because if you have a different color foundation, you're going to have to do the whole face, or you're going to have like demarcation lines on the chin.
You turned me on to this product, and this is what I wear in the weekend. I wear very little makeup when I'm not here.
Yeah, and now it's because they're available fragrance-free and oil-free that everybody can wear the compact makeup.
Yeah.
Now this sets to powder, so it eliminates having to set it. So it dries to a powder.
Got the little dewy underneath
so
with the little holes, so it's like air fast.
Just tap the areas on that need coverage. Anything that looks red or blemished on the face.
Which is usually the eyes, the nose, and in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's already, we saved the time on the foundation.
So the things that I would not do without, I have 3 things. This is one of them.
Foundation. I'd say probably mascara.
Yeah, you gotta have mascara.
Okay, mascara. So you might not curl your eyelashes like you would in the evening to go out. You might not put on eyeliner, but you will put on. Mascara is going to open up the eyes, right?
Yeah, no, I always thought that the eyelash curler, which is one of my favorite things to watch a woman do.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like, I want to say BS. I'm trying to think of another word, but that's what I thought it was. But it actually works. It really makes a huge difference.
It really opens up. And you need less mascara as well because the eyelashes are going up.
And once you curl it and you put this on, it sets them in that shape.
Right. Yeah, sure. So for the person who's going along, okay, then there's the foundation, the mascara. And lips.
For lips, yeah.
And now for someone who's in a hurry, they don't want to be outlining.
And you don't want a dark color. You want like a soft...
A fleshier color that doesn't need the edges done.
Or...
Something along the flesh tone lines, for sure.
And that's it.
And of course, I mean, if you got the extra 2 minutes, you've got that far. That should only be 3 minutes or so. Maybe a black eyeliner sketch at the base of the eyelashes, one that sets itself.
You know what? This is a really important...
That's color stay.
I wonder if women actually believe that. Unless Corby does my makeup for me, I generally do my own face because Corby taught me how to do it. And I can do full face with, we're talking shadowing and the whole thing now in less than, I guess it would be 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, it's true. Once you've got the design down and you've got the right products.
I can do TV makeup in 10. I can do this in, oh, Christ, we're talking 3 minutes here.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing is with a color stay liner and lipstick that it sets itself and it doesn't move. It doesn't need to be maintained.
Okay, we know you. You've done a very quick and easy makeover for us.
Exactly, and I clocked myself. I did a 10-minute.
Yeah,
I did a 10-minute makeover.
Okay, this is young, and this is what she looked like before. 10-minute full makeover. Okay, this is the beginning. I always like people. They look so sad. My life is ruined. I give a look at. Look at you there, young. You look so unhappy. Now look at her. Whoa! 10 minutes.
A 10-minute. I wanted to be realistic about it, so in application time, I worked about 10 minutes. I picked a foundation color very close to her skin, so I just sponged it on in the areas that needed coverage.
And where again do you test it when you're going in to buy it to make sure it's the same color?
A swatch across the cheekbone, jawbone, so that it disappears onto the neck when it's dry.
Okay.
It sets to a powder within about a minute and a half. I finished the face, of course. I put blush color. Blush swept across the cheekbones, a little bit in the brow bone. Now, I had a little bit of time left over for the purpose of television. I put a bit of eyeshadow on. That's about the only difference, really. I used a color that was the Raisins, the Overtime collection.
Did you do her eyebrows too? Or
with what was left on the brush, I just swept it across the eyebrows a little bit to color them in.
Do you prefer to do eyebrows with a brush or a pencil? Or...
Well, if there have been tweezed to oblivion, I have to pencil them in. If there's already a nice amount of eyebrow there, just a little bit of shadow to define it. A wedge brush and a bit of eyeshadow, again, is one product. It was at the base of the eyelashes, a little bit in the crease, and it's literally, it wasn't a whole contouring effect. It was like a little sweep of color. For the purpose of TV, of course, I put a little bit more blush on than I would have maybe for real life, but for our studio audience's information. But that's it. That's a very quick face, and because it's color stay, it will be maintenance free.
You know, it's interesting. I remember those famous stories about Marilyn Monroe used to take 3 to 4 hours to do her makeup before she went out. I mean, that's totally insane. You should be able to do, and the more you do it, it's like anything else. It's, you know, like making the pie. The more you do your face, the faster,
you get
the
familiar,
better.
and also getting your left eye to be as good as your right eye, because if you only are right-handed, you always have one eyebrow better than the other, and it's better to become a bit more ambidextrous so that they're both quick and fast.
Corby, instead of going to the, you know, to the store and going to the Revlon counter for a complete makeover, if I went in with all my makeup on and went up to a beauty expert and said, okay, I've just done my face.
Yes.
Can you give me some suggestions as to how I could do it, you know, how I could make it better, or what you see is
Well, let's say that if somebody is committing a mistake, maybe that their blush color doesn't suit their eyeshadow or something, that someone could spot something obviously, but we don't know by looking at a fully made up face how well a job you've done in your concealer or foundation because you don't really know what you started with. So it'd be better to actually build it up a little bit as you're going along. You can see the improvement. Because it's also, if you look beautiful, it's hard to sort of say to someone, I don't like how you did your eyes, because maybe if they took off their makeup, you'd say, oh, actually, you had done a good job.
Okay, so go get makeovers done, and you learn from them and take tips,
and then you can take maybe a friend take a Polaroid of you to see what the difference is between how you do your own.
Okay, thanks. Good tips, Corby.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We're back in a moment.
And your gift basket.
Oh, look, okay. changing your name around.
Bret
the Hitman Hart. And Rocky Maivia and Dan.
Dan the man.
Dan the man is a little green with envy today. I like you like this, Dan. Yeah. Take it away.
One lucky
Bret.
member of our studio audience will be taking home a $300 gift certificate from Square One
Here you go,
Shopping
hold him,
Center in
Dan.
Ontario. Nothing like getting rid of the February blahs with a shopping spree, a free one at that. And the winner is...
You're pretty good at this, Bret, you know? Rocky, go for it. The winner is, according to Rocky, $300 goes to
Marge Clark.
Marge Clark. Here you go, Marge. You knew it? Come on down, Marge. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Bret the Hitman Hart, Rocky Maivia, thank you both. You see these guys, WWF? And are we giving away some tickets for a June event, maybe one pair?
I'm sure we can.
One pair to somebody in the audience. Come on over. I think you get a hug from Rocky.
Let's tie one on, Marge.
Rocky Maivia, thank you both. You see these guys, WWF? And are we giving away some tickets for a June event, maybe one pair?
I'm sure we can.
One pair to somebody in the audience. Come on over. I think you get a hug from Rocky.
Let's tie one on, Marge.